I think we are a little bit underexposed here. Let's see what we can do. Oh, sorry. What do we think about that? Maybe down a little bit longer. Yeah, I think that is good. Okay, I've been using the iPhone 17 Pro now for approximately 3 weeks, and I have some thoughts. If this is your first time watching me, I just want to take this honorary moment and say welcome to the channel. Hope you're gonna enjoy it, and if you like it, don't forget to subscribe. So over the course of these 3 weeks that I've been using the iPhone 17 Pro, there's been a lot of different questions from friends, family members, and people online. But one of the most common theme that people ask is it a good phone? And to that, I will say yes. It's a great phone. It does everything that you expect an iPhone to do, just a little bit better than last year, a little bit faster, and so on and so forth. You all know the drill. But the camera is the biggest thing with this phone. And it's also the biggest reason as why I decided to upgrade. Not only because you have a higher megapixel count on both the front-facing camera and the ultra-wide camera. And for someone that is making a lot of content on the go, such as things that I do, having the ultra-wide camera to look a little bit better than what it did previously is great. And also, having the front-facing camera without having to worry about the image quality not being on par with the other cameras that you have in the back. I mean, it's not as good, but it's definitely up there with the cameras, and I do think that in and by itself is definitely worth an upgrade if you are using your camera a whole lot and if you want to maintain the best image quality possible on your selfies. But that is also where I think that things are moving a little bit more into camera rather than phone. One of the things that Apple launched last year is this button right here, which is the camera action button or whatever it's called. And when I saw that, I was hyped. I was super stoked that we are getting a dedicated camera button, that you can hold your phone and do this and that. I'm gonna be honest and say that the only thing that button has done to me is make me more annoyed at my phone. There's been so many times where I've been, accidentally adjusting the exposure, and it's been accidentally pressed in my pocket and so on and so forth. And I've never actually used that button, even though I thought I would do it. So if you're an Android fanboy and you want to type like, well, Apple cheap, then do that. I fell for the marketing when it comes to that button. But then again, it also might be that I don't just have the use case for that button. Someone out there that is using the iPhone with the camera button is enjoying it immensely. But there wasn't that many other features that kind of impressed me this year except for the cameras. And now that I've been using the phone, I will say that this is probably one of the best iPhones that I have personally used. And the biggest reason for that is the quality of the cameras, because that is some of the things that I'm using the most in an iPhone. But when it comes to shooting in RAW with the iPhone, just as I said in my previous video, it is most likely something that I will only use in very, very specific scenarios, and not something that I need to have on a day-to-day basis. Shooting in ProRes is kind of the same. And if you don't know what these terms are, then I highly recommend you go back and check my iPhone 17 Pro versus 16 Pro Max so you can get a little bit of a hum on what my thoughts are and what these terms are that I'm using. But being able to have the option as a content creator and filmmaker is what makes this phone so freaking great. And for the everyday user, shooting in ProRes or RAW is going to be out of the box. Like, there's probably gonna be a micro percentage of the everyday user that even touches that function, mainly because you don't have to. The images and videos that comes out of this camera looks incredibly good just as is. There's no need on actually capturing anything in RAW unless the situation requires it. But then again, the same thing goes for a big camera. I don't bring my big camera on a day to the zoo unless I have an intention of actually bringing the camera for a specific purpose. One of the questions that a lot of people might ask themselves is, can the iPhone replace a big camera? And for that, I'm going to say no, simply because the big camera is just so much better. The sensor on the iPhone might be having a bigger megapixel count when it comes to this year compared to last year, but the sensor size on a full frame camera or even an APS-C camera or micro four thirds is just so much bigger than what the sensor is on the iPhone 17 Pro. And just look at this lens. Look at the size of it. It is half an iPhone. This glass is not going to be replaced by this glass. But if I don't have this camera with me, this will more than suffice. And it's going to be more than enough for people that want to start out a YouTube channel or start making content that looks good, looks professional. And even if you want to have the option of actually creating something that is a little bit more advanced than what it is using just the regular camera features that you have on a phone, because now you have the possibility to shoot in ProRes, you have the possibility to shoot in RAW, and it's just such a great thing to have in a phone nowadays, in my opinion, than not to have. And if you saw my previous video, they also know that I downgraded from the 16 Pro Max to the 17 Pro, and I have absolutely zero regrets. I've been using the Pro Max version of the iPhone for 2 years now. Every single time that I pick up that phone, I feel like it's too big. I want to have a smaller phone. I want to have a phone that feels more like something that is portable rather than having a freaking iPad in my pocket. But this is just my own personal preference, and I have big hands, you know? So I want to have something that fits in my hand, that I can have a one-handed operation without thinking about, you know, doing like this. I want to be agile. I want to have it under control with my one hand. No, I'm just kidding, but it just feels so much better. And there's nothing that I miss from having a bigger phone. If I want to have bigger screen real estate, I just go to my iPad Pro. If I want to have it even bigger than that, I go to my computer, and so on and so forth. The mid ground between the iPad and the iPhone is something that I don't feel is lacking right now. The 17 Pro is a great camera. It's a freaking amazing piece of tech to everyone that is interested in making videos and making content and maintaining high image quality on your photos and videos that you're taking with your phone. But if you don't really care about that feature as much as I do, then it might not be that big of a difference, honestly. And for those of you wondering, this case is something that I've 3D printed myself. I'm gonna drop a link in the description if you want to see that. Kind of cool to be able to have the phone kind of open like this. It's also not getting as many scratches as I've seen people having it online. But yeah, there's probably gonna be some Android fanboy commenting down below that, well, I hate your stuff. So, I don't care. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. There's gonna be a little bit of a kind of different kind of videos sprinkled here and there. Peter från Sweden saying goodbye.